Like this.
No, it was good. It was good. Then you came with the unfiltered version versus the best version of you. The
Yeah.
unfiltered version.
Best
Ain't that the
version of
same thing
yourself.
though?
Yeah, so best version of yourself versus the worst version of yourself. When people talk about being their best version, basically what they're saying, if you recognize that if a person recognizes that they want to become and are worthy of becoming the best version of themselves, that means that they have identified that they have a worse version of themselves, right? And I think people usually, that's the split, best version and worst version. But I think there's another version in there that kind of is in between and bridges the two, which is the unfiltered version. See, I feel like the unfiltered version doesn't necessarily have to be the worst version of a person. It's just everybody has that unfiltered version. Some people choose to be more unfiltered more often than others. And then
Correct.
some people are more comfortable being that quote unquote best representation of themselves at all
Mm.
times. They're more
Mm.
comfortable there. It's just where the energy is. And then sometimes there's a battle between the two. Sometimes people are like, okay, I want to be the best reflection of myself according to themselves, what they feel is the best reflection. And then sometimes people is more comfortable again just being that more unfiltered version. But I think even the most polished person, as you would say, has the unfiltered side. You may not see it. Like Steph Curry, right? In the world of
Mm-hmm.
basketball, that just popped in my head. He
Right.
off top, people see Steph as a very polished individual, right?
Right.
They would let their kids go up to him and get an autograph. They would be okay with they young kids. I'm not talking about grown kids, young kids saying that's somebody they look up to, a role model. You know what I mean? Like Steph's a great role model. However, Steph has that unfiltered version. Remember when he threw the mouthpiece?
Yeah.
Remember when he called D'Angelo? He told D'Angelo Russell, "Get your bitch ass on the court."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But people, you know what I mean? Which is something
nobody
that,
nobody liked D'Angelo Russell.
yeah, but which is get your bitch ass on the court, right? Or when young Cubs from the Celtics was doing all the talking and he hit the whop in his face and he playing like chucking all that Steph didn't even like that. You know what I mean? So some people express their unfiltered version more often than others. But I believe, and you tell me what you think, I believe everybody has an unfiltered version. It doesn't matter what they do for a living. It doesn't matter how they choose to carry themselves, which is okay. But if you, like you say, fuck around and find out, you'll find out they got that unfiltered version too. So that was the thought.
When I think of the unfiltered version of somebody, I would like to think that is the best version of a person. All right. So unfiltered just mean say what's on your mind. Say it freely to me. You know what I'm saying? You may use profanity, you may use words that nobody understand. You may pretty much check a person without being so blunt, or you may be blunt. That's pretty much what we're saying, right? Be the best, be you. Because if you're unfiltered and you're comfortable in that, that's your best version of you. Now, being the best version and the best representative, right, are two different things, right? Because the best version of me is when I can be me authentically, 100% through and through. My best representative is
Best
the person I
representation of yourself.
present, right?
Yeah.
The person I present for whatever occasion is required.
Whatever arena you're in, yeah.
Right. So that's the difference. But unfiltered is the best version. But unfiltered versus your best representation,
Yeah.
I don't even think that would be different. But that would be the distinguishing thing, because you're going to get. Me and my sister, we had a talk one day, and I was telling her, like, every person, when you meet somebody, gives you their representative.
Indeed.
Right? We're going to give the representative. So our representative is going to come out and start doing the screening questions. We're going to screen you, get you through the process, see how far you can go along through this interview process, because it's a long interview for whoever you're dealing with. And so I'm going to bring my representation out. Now, the deeper we get into the representation, the closer you get to finding out who the real person is that you started dealing with, right? But in the meantime, you're dealing with this representative. Now, again, once you start getting a little bit closer, you're going to start noticing that the conversation gets a little bit more candid, a little bit more open. That's when you can start dissecting and picking away and pulling away layers and layers and layers. This is the thing that gradually happens over time. So I was explaining to my sister, like, you can't necessarily believe the representative when you first meet them, because the representative is here to screen you, also to be screened. Right. So I'm going to give you my best person. This is me. Hey, how you doing? I dress good every day. I smell good all the time. I talk like I got the most sense in the world. I do all these things. Right. This is me. I'm at the front of the window in Mervin's. Come get me. And so you got to be wary of that, because people put their best representation out front and then deceive. This is where we get deceived at, because you think you got this person, but really this was a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so that's my thing with representation, man. So I would like to think, man, be your best unfiltered version of yourself. Be you, but let your unfiltered version and your representatives coexist as one. Be able to pop in and pop out when need be.
Indeed.
And that confidence, that teaches you how to have the best of both worlds, the best version and the best unfiltered version.
And that's kind of where my thought was, and that's why I was saying people always talk about being the best them, be the best you. You know what I mean? So that means that if you, like I said, if you can recognize that there's this best version, then they have already identified there's a worse version. But I think that's the only two that people talk about, and I believe that there's an unfiltered version that coexists with both, and it goes either way. It could be unfiltered into the best version, but it could also be unfiltered into the worst version. I think that unfiltered goes in. Now, unless a person is super comfortable being completely unfiltered one way or the other, you may not, a person may write a person off if they are Marshawn Lynch. He go walk into a room and be the best version of himself according to him. There is no version. It's just him, unfiltered, raw, uncut. That's him all day, every day, any room, don't matter. Whoever walk in the room, he go be like, what's up with my nigga though? That's how you go greet him. Like, so that's Marshawn. But Marshawn has also utilized being himself to create this stream of income outside of football now, based on just being him when he played football and even now when he's not playing football. So that would be an example of somebody off the top of my head. Mike Tyson, unfiltered, and people get drawn. So being true to yourself, kind of what you was talking about, is always most important. This conversation is not about not being true to yourself. That's the most important thing. But some people's truth may be a little more on the edge, and some people's truth may be a little bit more, however you want to put it, polished or whatever. So I just wanted to point it out that I believe that when you talk about, when a person says anything in the realm of being the best version of themselves, best representation of themselves, living their best life, that they are also, you can't know the best without knowing the worst. And that I don't really ever hear people talk about that unfiltered gap in between that can go either into the worst or the best. And the more that you are in tune with, and recognizing that everybody has that unfiltered version, but they can still operate in whichever way they most comfortable, they have the authority to do so if they so choose to. By the way, anybody that's having this battle or identifying with this conversation would be a person of thought, would be a person of reflection of some sort, would be a person of some type of wisdom or knowledge, at least on the surface, because there's some people who are unaware and don't even give a fuck.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about, Pete. While we were talking, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the law of attraction, the law of manifestations, right? The laws that we govern, not the government, not like the law, but the laws
No,
of
I
the
know what you're talking about.
universe,
Yeah,
right?
indeed.
The laws of the universe. And the reason I say that because I got on my paper I wrote, "Don't chase the bag. Don't chase the bag." A lot of times, I don't even want to go there right now with it a lot of times, but don't chase the bag. How much time do we spend focusing on what's going on around us? There's so much we can't see. And I know a lot of times, if you into like the spiritual things like me, like you hear people saying they woke, they got their third eye, that I know you believe in like the chakras and things like that, the chakra stones, the auras, the different lights that I believe in. So I work very diligently with myself and my mind to manifest the things that I want. And it takes a lot of practice, and I'm in the process of this right now, making sure that I use the correct wording for how I speak. Because again, like I said prior, our words are spells that we cast. And when we write words on papers, we're writing the cast, we're putting this into the universe. So I'll be very careful, and I write with intent. And I'm trying to start, let me get rid of that word trying. I'm thinking with intent. I'm thinking with intent, striving. I'm thinking with intent now. So I make sure that the thoughts that I have are directed at what I want, but I'm open enough with myself and with God to allow new ideas and opportunities to come into my mind, and pray that he gives me enough knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to sort through them and keep my direct thinking. I say don't chase the bag because to chase something implies that something is running away from you. So if you're chasing the bag, that means the bag is running away from you. I don't want nothing that's running from me. If you're running from me, it's not for me. That means you're afraid of me and I'm causing a threat to you. I don't want nothing to have to run away from me. I would like to receive the bag. I would like to receive, the money. I would like to receive the blessings that come to me, opposed to chasing. If a person is running from you, man, are you making me chase you? Then that person doesn't want you. They're running from you.
The police usually shoot at them.
Sometimes. even with the police, man, you gotta know how to talk to them folks too.
Yeah. No, but keep going with what you were saying, because I like what you were saying.
But we run, we use these words. Chasing, I'm going after it. No. We have to start replacing these negative words. I'm gonna start calling them dirty words. Replace these dirty words with clean words, affirmative words, words that have conviction, words that have dedication, words that have substance, words that have meaning, words that are provocative to the universe, that the universe say, "Ooh, you gave me chills when you said that." Don't chase anything, man. You have to realize, I have to realize one thing that's been getting repeated to me over and over and over. You are the prize, right? I am the prize, right? So why am I chasing something, someone, anything, when I am the prize? I attract, I receive, I manifest, I feel, I smell. These are chakras that people don't use. We always so stuck on the I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy. We focus on that. And I think that's the root chakra. I don't even know which chakra it is. But what about I feel healthy? I feel like I got money. I feel wealthy. I can touch the wealth. Like the different, I breathe. I smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like we get so caught up on one when there's so many. We have to be mindful with our words, manifest, use thought, intent, thinking with your words on what you want, because you put it into this universe and it's going to manifest. You put it into the universe's hand and say, universe, this is what I want. The universe don't got a timeline. So it may be 8 o'clock when you put it in the universe hand. You might not see it for 20 more years, but the universe clock don't move how your clock moves. So once you put it out there, it's coming. That's why you say you think it with direct intent and you speak it with direct intent. You speak it with conviction. You speak it with dedication. You speak it knowing that you feel it, you smell it, you taste it, you touch it, you wrote it. It is you. You are it. Speak these things into speak life into yourself. Speak life into your dreams. Speak life into others around you that you want to see grow with you. Speak life into the things that matter to you. But do not chase anything. If you're chasing, it's running. We don't want nothing that's moving away from us in a fearful manner. We want things that's approaching us in a loving manner.
Yeah.
Where we can receive what we want and block what we don't. Go ahead, Pete.
Indeed. Intent is a great word. Doing things with intent basically equals doing things with purpose, right? And intentionally doing things. And this is why I love fitness. Because what you're speaking of is training, intentional training. Now, training yourself to do things is different from just doing stuff because it sounds good, looks good, or a person is trying something. But training yourself with intention, intentional training is what you're talking about. And that's exactly the approach that we use in fitness, how we do fitness. Train the Brain Fit Club. It's intentional. Everything that we're doing is intentional practices, both inside and outside of the gym. And so fitness is a so there are ways you can put these things into practice. Learning to speak with intent, learning to think with intent. There's actually things that a person can do in their everyday life to practice speaking with intent, to practice thinking with intent, to practice connecting with intent, to practicing intent and intentional methods of doing things. Like, for instance, in fitness, one of the things that I coach and speak about a lot is mind to muscle connection. Knowing, identifying, and utilizing and maximizing the connection between your mind and the muscle group that you're supposed to be using, the muscles you could and should be using during any exercise movement, right? So utilizing something like fitness or even yoga, you were talking about chakras, utilizing things outside of how the average person does it. If you do it with intent, then it starts to give you the opportunity to use that same intentional training in other arenas, other areas of your life, right? So now when you go to the gym, if you are training with intent when you're in the gym, you're practicing a lot of these different chakras. You're practicing seeing what you wanted to do, the goal that you want to accomplish with intent. You're practicing feeling with intent because you're connecting with what you're doing. You're practicing, being intentional about every aspect of it. And as you start to train with intent in something like exercise or other arenas, it takes you past the average individual who's just working out or who's just showing up and doing something. And then you can start to apply that same work ethic you should be applying that same work ethic in other areas. It makes it easier because you've already unlocked that power. You're already putting it into practice. So intentional training is super big. The training with intention of how you speak, how you think, how you receive, how you do. And one of the areas that you can start to train with intent and utilize intentional training is through the realm of fitness and exercise is definitely a way to start unlocking that potential and that power.
I just gave somebody that advice earlier today. They was asking me, how do you, I guess they was having some kind of relationships back, but I said, hey man, when you start feeling yourself getting depressed and stressed, go to the gym and work out a little bit, release some of that dopamine and things like that, and make yourself feel better. You know what I mean? I think that's a good stress reliever, because anytime I don't feel good and I go to the gym, run a little bit, work out a little bit, I'll be happy. Release them
Yeah.
endorphins. I'll be happy.